can't afford to put food in the bellies. They can't afford to heat the house. But they have to pay more council taxes. If you don't pay your council tax, you go to prison.
The gangsters, they are fucking gangsters. It's morally wrong and it's corrupt against the fucking civilians of this country.
Their council tax is over £400 a month. £400 for what?
Every single government service in this country is absolutely shit. There's not one good thing.
Any of the extra money, where's that going? You're pissing it up the wall. Okay, fantastic.
After thinking about it, you know what I realized? I just don't like government. They've got their sticky fingers in everything we do.
I got my council tax bill, and I'm going to show you what political cowardice looks like. This guy here, the leader of the council.
Council tax. That magical bill you pay every month so the council can ignore potholes, miss your bin day, and pretend they've got no money while giving themselves a tidy raise. Some of us are paying over £2,000 a year. For what exactly? A fortnightly bin collection and a street lamp that's been out since 2021? And remember when Keir Starmer promised to freeze council tax? That was back in 2023, and it was only for 1 year. Now in 2025, bills are still climbing. Brits are fuming, and today's TikToks prove it. This is Brit Rants, and if you're sick of paying more to get less, you're in the right place. Subscribe if you're done funding the farce. It's time to rant.
After thinking about it, you know what I realized? I just don't like government. They've got their sticky fingers in everything we do. Everything we earn is taxed. Everything we buy is taxed. Every move we make is monitored. Everything we want to do needs a license or a permit. You can't do anything without getting government permission first. Enough government.
I had a rant about this before, but the council tax thing is really taking the piss. So as you probably know by now, April next year, council tax is open to go up by 5%. Bearing in mind they're knocked on the fucking head getting rid of our shit from the green bin, which now you've got to pay separate for. But wait, the initial tariff that was within your council tax bill, that didn't go down, that wasn't removed. That stayed in there, but the service was taken away. And now for that non-service, you get 5% added on top of that. Cheeky bastards. So the money that remains in there that you don't get a service for, they're hiking that up by up to 5%. Bunch of cheeky bastards. How's about if you remove a fucking service, you stop charging for it? Can you imagine a trade, any fucking trade, going to a job, not doing it, and then putting the bill in? And what's more, if they don't fucking pay it, they get the debt collectors on you. With that, along with everything else, I can just see people saying, fuck it, I'm not going to pay. I mean, let's have it right, most of them are on the cusp of going bankrupt anyway. But if a company is due to go bankrupt, they don't start charging people for non-services. It's ridiculous. Who comes up with this shit? The gangsters, they are fucking gangsters. It's morally wrong and it's corrupt against the fucking civilians of this country. Let's see what happens in April.
So today, like hundreds of thousands of my fellow Enfieldians, I got my council tax bill. And I'm going to show you what political cowardice looks like. This guy here, the leader of the council, why is it always everyone else's fault that they've destroyed this borough? They want to destroy the Greenbelt. They've taken away our weekly bin collection. They've shut 7 libraries, amongst hundreds of other things that they've destroyed over the last 15 years. Why doesn't this guy, Ergin Erbil, the leader of the council, have the courage to put in his council tax letter why they've done what they've done and own up to their mistakes, their failures, their political failures? It's an absolute disgrace. And the sooner we get rid of this lot, the better.
Hello there, I wonder if you can help me. My council bill seems to have gone up in price and I just wondered why. Due to the cost of living crisis and the general increase in rates, it seems to have increased in price. Right, okay, but my services seem to have gone down. That's so that it doesn't go up any further and you're saving me money in the long run. Right, if anything, you're doing me a favour then, fantastic, right. Because at the moment I'm barely getting the bins picked up for that money. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? And also, just out of interest, what are you doing with the roads? Oh, nothing at all. The potholes are going to stay, because there's so many now that essentially it's just going to become one giant pothole. And hopefully that will resolve the problem. Right, got you. Okay, fantastic. And any of the extra money, where's that going? You're pissing it up the wall. Okay, fantastic. All right, well, thank you for your help then. Bye.
I pay £320 a month in council tax, and the bin men this month have refused to take my recycling because there's a cardboard box in it. We've had another letter saying if we want our green bin collected over summer, it's going to be an extra 20 quid a month. Every single government service in this country is absolutely shit. There's not one good thing. And the solution for most people in this country is still to tax us even more. People already paying 40, 50% tax is not enough. Now, if we just squeeze an extra 10, 20% from everybody, somehow we're going to form into some British utopia. I really feel like this country is close to breaking point. There's just constant tax everywhere.
Woo, council tax going up. Come on. This is based on the property valuation in 1991, 34 years ago. Come on. Can we not do something a bit more modern? I'm not saying you need to reevaluate every year, but maybe every couple of years. You know, just a thought. How about maybe instead of going from A to H, you can chuck a couple of letters in there, even further? You know, do a couple more bands. Could bring in some decent income for you, couldn't it? Take you out of the bankruptcy. Yeah, just a thought. I mean, the beauty of it is it's not something we can escape. Like, you can't turn around and be like, I don't want to pay it this month. I don't need it. You got no choice. You got to pay. Don't get me started. So, I mean, obviously, started doing a little digging, and then I digged into the old stamp duty. This will give you a shock.
Monday's random thought. Jesus wants us to tithe 10% back to his kingdom because ultimately he's the one who gave us the ability to make the money to begin with. But our government wants 20+%. And if you own your own business, you better be prepared to set back 25% to give back to the government of the money you worked your butt off for. Y'all, make it make sense. This is so crazy to me. I do not understand. And then we get taxed on items that are already taxed. You have to still pay a mortgage when your mortgage is paid off because you got to pay property taxes, which is in the sense like a second mortgage. Y'all, make this make sense. Let me know what y'all think.
Just got this year's council tax bill, and honestly, I'm raging, and I knew I was going to be raging. We get 2 months off a year, right, where we don't have to pay council tax. We are paying council tax. It's just spread over 10 months rather than 12, right? Don't go fooling yourself. But we've had a 4.8% increase in council tax. An increase in what we have to pay, but a decrease in the services that we're going to receive. Because we live in rip-off Britain. I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm not surprised. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for the council tax letters, and it's just filled us with more rage. The country is on its arse. Yeah? We're paying more, we'll get less. We're paying more, we'll get less. Pay more, get less. Honestly, I am so wound up. People can't afford to put food in the bellies. They can't afford to heat the house, but they have to pay more council taxes. If you don't pay your council tax, you go to prison. Honestly, this country is messed up. I wouldn't mind paying more. I wouldn't mind paying more if the services that we got were to a decent standard. Down here in London, yeah, especially the borough of Croydon, load of rubbish. Honestly, it's a load of rubbish. The place is scruffy, it's filthy, the crime levels are high. You can't even get your bins emptied, right? You're paying more for emergency services, I know that, but apparently you wait about 6 hours for an ambulance these days, and then you're left on the floor of a corridor. Yeah, corridor in a hospital. That's what we're paying for, guys. That's what we're paying for. Honestly, this country sucks big buttholes, and I'm sick of it. Anyway, I'm off to calm down.
Well, some people are telling me on here in the comments that their council tax is over £400 a month. £400 for what? And then they've gone on to tell me that their bin collection is every 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and some of them 3 to 4 weeks. It used to be every week. I'm sorry, when it's going up that much, that's a mortgage. Over £400 in council tax, that's a fucking mortgage. That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, but this has got to stop. You know what's going to happen next year? They're going to put it up. They're going to freeze it for 10 years. I don't know. But this needs to stop. I mean, it's so frustrating because, you know, I thought mine were bad at £275 a month from £250. Well, some poor bastards out there, they're paying a lot more than me. I have my bin collections every 2 weeks. It used to be every week. But another thing, the brown bin collection, your garden waste, they reckoned that used to be free, but now you have to pay for that as well. It's just unbelievable. When does it end?
So it's just been announced that council tax is going up by 5% in April, which means that the 5% increase we got was not an increase. It was basically like, cheers, mate, but it's going up again. So it's going up again. And then also, unemployment has gone up to 4.4%, and they're surprised. Let's be for real. The UK right now is the ghetto. We're getting so many increases, and salary is still an issue. Salaries are still not going up. How do they expect people to survive? Seriously, how? What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the 5% increase?
Just received the new bill for my council tax for the year. Over £4,000 for the year. Over £4,000. We don't have any street lights where I live. We do all of our own maintenance in the road as well. We take care of all of the bushes, all of the trees, everything that's around us. We do that. The council doesn't have anything to do with it at all. So do you know what? I'm quite classy. So instead of swigging it straight out the bottle, I thought just grab a straw.
Okay, real quick, okay, because I need to check something right now. I just got my council tax bill. Monthly, the bill has gone up to £172 a month. What? For a 2-bedroom flat? Is that correct? Am I being scammed? Maybe I'm being scammed. I don't understand. What are other people paying for council tax, by the way? For the size of their property, what are people paying? Because honestly, I feel like the calculations are calculating wrong. I had to call the man. He was like, no, that's correct. If I live in inner city London, then yeah, maybe. But I don't. I'm in the sticks. What the hell? £172 a month for a 2-bedroom flat. Am I right to be shocked? Is this too much? Are other people paying this much? I'm so confused.com right now. I'm so confused.com and I'm so annoyed. Anyway, what can I do? I've got to pay it.
8 local councils are looking to raise their council tax by up to 25% this year. And I'm going to tell you how they're using loopholes to be able to do this. Firstly, the law states that council tax should not rise annually above 4.99%. If councils want to raise their council tax above the 4.99%, they generally have to hold a local referendum where they're asking local taxpayers to vote on these above 4.99% changes. And if they don't get the numbers from the local people, then ultimately they can't raise it. However, councils are using technically a loophole. They're serving what is called a 114 notice. This is a notice which is served stating that the council is unable to meet their obligations with the amount of money they've got coming in through taxpayers. Essentially, it is a council saying that they are bankrupt. And by saying that they are bankrupt and by serving this 114 notice, they're bypassing the rules that set it at 4.99% and allowing these councils to up it by, as I said in one instance, I think 25%. Do you think that's fair, or do you think this should always be a say by local taxpayers?
So you can prove that council tax is a scam just by the methods that they use. So you don't pay your council tax, 1 week turns into 2 weeks, turns into a couple of months. They start sending you letters. Maybe you're not communicating with them. Maybe you are writing to them on where you stand in relation to that. If council tax was a legitimate, if it was a legitimate tax that was enforceable, then we would all go to court for not paying it. But that isn't what happens, you see. What they do is they threaten you with court. They say you're going to go to court, you're going to get a CCJ, this is going to happen. But if you know how to write documents, you can let them know empirically where you stand in relation to council tax. This is what I believe, this is what I think, this is what I'm willing to pay, this is what I'm not willing to pay, thank you so much. Clear, precise. All they can do is sell your debt that they made up. Remember, they created the debt, the council, so they're like, you owe us £4,000. That's just made up. They just made that number up. Then, with this made up number that they made up, they then sell it to an enforcement agency, like a bailiff company. And now the bailiff adds their 20% on top of it so that they can make money. And now you've got people chasing you, bailiffs showing up at your house, texting your mobile phone number, emailing you to get money for a debt that was never agreed in the first place. There was no contract. There was no agreement. There was no meeting of the minds. There was no contract, which means under the bills of exchange, there can't be a debt without a contract, without an agreement. So if you want to stop paying your council tax and you want to just fuck that stupid off, just do it. Because all that's going to happen is they're going to hire a private company to come after the money. If you don't have a contract with that private company, with that bailiff company, just tell them to fuck off. Go find a bunch of rugby players to stand outside your house. Do something. Join a group of peace officers, Peace Officer Davey, check him out online. Like, I know that this system is designed for extracting our time and energy away from us, which is money. Money is time and energy. So if you want to keep some of your time and energy in your own bank account, using your own natural gifts and talents to earn money, and keep that money in your pocket, stop paying all of these bills. Stop paying the council taxes, the courts, the fucking fines, the parking notices, your TV licenses. Are you joking? Stop it. You'll save yourself tens of thousands of pounds every year. 100 grand in 10 years you'll save, not giving them people your money. And everyone says, well, the fabric of society will collapse if we don't pay it. No, that's not how money works, and that's not how governments operate. They taught you that you are emptying your own bins with your council tax, and they taught you that you turn the street lights on with your own council tax, but that's not how money works, and that's not how taxes work. So stop paying all that bullshit. Nothing will happen to you. Honestly, and if 100,000 people did it, great. If 500,000 people did it, fuck yeah. If 2 million people start doing it, amazing. Let's get to 10 million. And then our governments will start paying attention to what we want. Lots of love. Have a good day.
Right, so just a little rant. Do you live? I live in Stockport. And I know that, I think it's Trafford Council have done this as well. But we've had to start paying for our green bin. And I'm not happy about it. First of all, we've got quite a lot of grass. So if we don't pay for it, where do you put grass? Second of all, I don't know if this is showing me age or if it's genuine fuming, but why? We pay council tax. I don't understand why we have to pay for our green bin as well. Now they want £59 a year, which is not a lot, but you know what? With the cost of living, everything's going up. It is a lot. Yeah, do you have to pay for your green bin? Because we've got to start paying for our green bin, and it's something that I'm really not happy about.
I was under the impression that because I wasn't living in the house is basically a building site, there's no furniture, it's unlivable. We're having a lot of work like the plumbing, the electrics, we've had a wall knocked through. I was under the impression that I didn't have to pay council tax, or at least I would have a percentage of council tax taken off. Maybe it differs between different councils, but I'm under Salford Council. Even if you're doing a full renovation, even if the house isn't livable, you still have to pay full council tax, and that's something ridiculous. Like, maybe I've read it wrong, but something saying if you have a house and you haven't lived there in over a year, you have to pay double council tax. So we best hurry up and start renovating this house. I don't know if it's going to be completely done in a year. I'm hoping that we're going to be moved in by October. We're not putting a time frame on it though, we're just going to go with the flow and hope that things get done in time for Christmas at least. I think that the council tax rule does differ per council. A few people in my comments were saying that when they were renovating their house, they didn't have to pay council tax, or they got like a 50% discount taken off, so they weren't paying the full thing. But apparently no. I mean, I've sent off the application, but they haven't got back to me, and they've sent me a bill of everything that I owe. I think it's £180 this month.
Is it just me or it's everybody? Because only to come home and I'm seeing increments of water bill, increments of council tax, increments of everything. I beg go. Is it the £1? Is it up to £1 that they added to the salary that is making everything to be increased? I beg people should leave us in the one that we had before, the former minimum wage, because I don't understand how everything is increasing. I'm calling water people to explain to me, what did I do different? Why is there an increment in my water bill? And then council tax. God of mercy. You add £1 and then £1, is it £1? Is it up to £1? And then everything the skyrockets. Hey God, I beg. How are we going to survive with one salary, please? Because I don't know. Have you? Please write on the comment section. Have you gotten any letter of increment? Because my own, I don't understand. I don't understand why there is an increment in water bill and why there's an increment in council tax. Why there's an increment in visually everything that I'm doing. Everything has gone up. Even the price of groceries has gone up. I thought, okay, maybe standard of living and rest, but now so everything too they go up. For how much when they put for salary? Please, oh please, oh please, oh please, please. If it's like that, let's go back to before. I beg. Let's go back, please, because the increment is not meeting the demand. What? I don't even know what to say. Is it?
I've just received a summons from Blackburn Council to go to court for unpaid council tax. Bear in mind I have been making the payments via their shit website. £182.50 a month. I've got the receipts. They've emailed me receipts and obviously bank statements as well. So I've called them. They've said they've not received anything and they've got no record of receiving anything. So I've now had to send them copies of the receipts that they sent me alongside redacted bank statements. But also, my bill was from the 27th of September, no, the 20th of September, but dated 27th of September to the 31st of March this year. That was the last correspondence I received from them. If they think they've not been receiving council tax from me for these months, then why have they not written to me? They've gone straight from council tax bill to court summons 5 months later. Like, what is wrong? What is wrong with this country? Why? And like trying to get someone to go to court for council tax during the cost of living crisis. Can't afford to eat, but yeah, here's your £182.50 every month. And I mean, that's like cheap. I was paying more than that down south, but still, I just can't.
You'll be getting your new council tax bill pretty soon, and you're probably expecting an increase in costs of about 5%. But what if I were to tell you that actually, when you consider service level and costs, you're likely to be paying around about 15% more than you're expecting? Let me walk you through why. So if we take the median average last year of £2,000 and we add 5% to it, we get to £2,100 this year. You're now paying £2,100 for the same service you received last year. But that's the point, because you won't get the same service you received last year. Councils right across the country are cutting services. They're reducing bin collections, they're shutting libraries, they're closing community groups, old folks' homes, and all sorts of things. So actually, let's take 10% as a figure. Let's say that councils are reducing their output by 10%. So that £2,000 that you were buying last year, there's now £1,800 being spent. So in other words, we are now paying £2,100 for £1,800 worth of service. That is a 16.7% increase. We are paying more and getting less.
Hey, TikTok, is only Andy from Miami. Right. Just a quick one. Council tax. Bit of a rant. So, I'm seeing several people reaching out to us, asking for help, based on the fact they've been following community groups, sovereign movement groups, truth groups, whatever, telling them they have this magic ticket to get them out paying council tax, only for them to get themselves into trouble because the process never works, and the fact they've now got bankruptcy orders against them, charging orders on property, and people are actually losing their property, and people are now starting to have committal to prisons. Now, this so-called sovereign movement and sovereign groups and truth scene always claim cause no harm, cause no loss. But guess what? They're causing more harm and more loss than the actual government themselves. Let's be honest. This truth scene and sovereign movement is nothing more than a fucking psyop. We know the names of these people causing these troubles. We know the names of the people causing the issues. Not going to name them at this moment in time, but we may in the future when we got all the evidence together. But right now, if you're one of these people who've followed one of these groups or one of these individuals and you've got yourself into trouble by following their process, reach out to us and let us know. We're here to help. Okay? We haven't got a magic ticket. We haven't got a magic wand to wave across and magically make it all go away. But what we can give you is the tools and guidance that you need to fight this yourself. So don't think there's magic out there. Don't think there's something's going to come along and magically wish away your problem. Because if you follow a lot of these groups' information, you will end up with a bankruptcy, lose your house, and maybe go to prison. That's not a lie. That's fact. So, sovereign movement, true sea movement, stop causing the damage, stop causing the harm, because it's not fair. And you're charging hundreds, if not thousands of pounds to these people to get them out of paying council tax. And yet when things go wrong, you fuck off. You got no accountability for your actions whatsoever. We do. I've made mistakes. I have made mistakes and I've hurt people by doing the wrong process, but I've rectified them. I've made sure that they got the answer they deserved. So everything I do is done with honour and integrity and truth. My truth. The fact that I know the processes we test, the processes we put out work. So keep believing what you want to believe. If you want to come out of the system and if you want to come out of the system, not right, you can't come out of the system. Trust me, you can't. There are ways you can, not right now. But you need to use the tools that's laid out in front of you. Use the tools, deal with it correctly, and you'll have a better life. Trust me. Anyway, rant over. I'm just tired of these groups out there promising the earth and delivering shit. That's basically what they're delivering. Okay? Have a good night. If you've been damaged or hurt by these groups with the council tax process and you're in trouble with a possible bankruptcy order or maybe a charge on your property or possibility of being evicted, please let us know, because we need this evidence and we also need to help you. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. So, yeah, something to think on. Going to send you guys much love and have a good night. Like I said, and have a beautiful weekend.
So it's council tax season, the greatest time of the year when you see how much you're getting shafted in terms of your tax bill. Now, the one that caught my eye this year was a 7.7% increase for the Police and Crime Commissioner. What's all that about? Now, this isn't going towards the police. This isn't going towards frontline services. It's specifically 7.7% extra of your taxpayers' money going towards a Police and Crime Commissioner. Now, in the North East, we have a Labour Police and Crime Commissioner, and for the last little while, they've oversaw an absolutely tremendous rise of crime all over the region. Do we really want this role? It's a politicised role. It's costing an awful lot of money, and frankly, I don't think it's much value for money. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think this is worth a 7.7% rise year on year?
Morning guys, happy, what day are we? Wednesday. How are you all? So I've woken up this morning to the new council tax statement for this year. So it's increased £27 a month. What for though? Because I can't even drive down the lane to get to the village because it's flooded and it has been for weeks. Apart from giving us some new recycling bins in a couple of months that are not needed, what's this extra money going to? Because I'd really like to know. Have a nice day.
So there you have it. Yet another thing in Britain that costs more and delivers less. Council tax is starting to feel more like a punishment than a service fee. If your bins are still full, your streets still filthy, and your wallet's still empty, welcome to the club. Drop your council tax horror stories in the comments, name and shame. And don't forget to subscribe. If we're going to keep getting rinsed, we might as well shout about it together.